Today I want to talk about the fear of regret and the regret of fear. I believe that's how it goes. But basically, what is this? And I can give you so many examples of my life. So I'll give you an example, right? That person I met there turned out to be the best business partner I've ever had. Turned out to be the best person ever. And on that call, I remember thinking to myself, am I really going to sacrifice 4 months of my working, 4 months of the money I've made on a job into this one investment where really I don't know where it's going? I was sitting there, I remembered, I was tapping my foot, I was looking out the window, hands in my head, just thinking. And I was thinking, what if it did work? But I was also thinking, what if it didn't? Right? As humans, our loss aversion, so what that means, our fear of loss is greater than our desire for gain. So if you're going to spend $5,000 on something, the emotion that will be stronger is your fear of losing that $5,000 compared to your gain that you could potentially make $10,000 off of it. So I was sitting there, I was staring out the window at my beautiful farm in northern Canada, and I was thinking, you know what, even if I lose it, let's do this. I didn't want my regret of a potential situation, my regret of an opportunity that I had, succumb to the fear of me, just to the fear, right? To the fear of the situation. Now, I'm talking about me and starting an AI agency. So if you guys haven't been following my story, basically what it is like I've been obsessed with making money online since I was 16, tried so many different things. And recently I was getting into AI, right? Like AI is the next big thing. And I was just trying to utilize AI to my advantage to start making money with it. And back in March, there was some people selling a course. I'm not going to call it a program, I'm going to call it a course. You guys can see my other videos on how I rated the course, stuff like that. But it was $5,000 basically for just an opportunity to start an AI agency under these people's guidance. Now, I booked the call, I watched the YouTube video, I clicked on the link, I booked the call, the full works. And when I hopped on the call, right, it was, I ended up actually purchasing the program from someone else, but that is irrelevant, and it was way cheaper. So it was $5,000 for this. I remember I hopped on the call, the guy who I was on, the call with, he's a pretty good closer. I don't really respect him because he said that he would do something for me and he didn't. So that's, at the end of the day, there's people who actually care about their clients and people who just do it for the sale. He was just doing it for the sale. They all were, right? But anyways, again, irrelevant. But that opportunity right there, right, that $5,000 may not have been the best thing in the world, but I ended up taking the leap. It was like 4 months of me, like 4 months of my life. So I work, sometimes I work 60-hour weeks. I made a video on this. It was 4 months of backbreaking shift, hard work, right? Trades in northern Alberta, that is as rough as you can get. And so 4 months of my life for this one opportunity. Now, I ended up taking the leap of faith. And where did that bring me? This comes back to the beginning, right? The fear of regret and the regret of fear, right? Or basically, you being too scared to do something and then regretting it later. That's what I want to avoid. That has been my, my mantra ever since I was in high school, right? I believe that high school, never get to high school again, right? So I wanted to make the most of it. Everything I wanted to do, not necessarily everything I wanted to do, but everything I had the opportunity to do, I took. Now, me, myself, I'm a naturally introverted person. And I hated going to parties. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff behind that, but I hated going to parties. I would be so nervous before I went to a party, right? Especially if it was a big party with people that I kind of knew. Those were the worst, right? And especially when I was younger, I lacked the confidence too. So parties were not fun for me. Like some of the, not the worst times, but most boring experiences were at parties. Some of the most funnest ones were, right? And that could be just another example. But every single opportunity I had, I never, ever, ever said no. And I am so glad I made that decision. That is one of the best best things I think I've ever done with my life. Now, furthermore, relating to the recent AI agency, right? I didn't want that fear of regret to, again, move out on that. Now, this is probably pretty, not very responsible of me in the fact where I could have done my research more. I could have seen if this was really, truly good or not. But regardless, right? It falls into that category. Now, at the end of the day, with that, right, it wasn't exactly what it turned out to be. Now, would I go back and change it? I would not for the world. And I'll tell you why. And this is how these experiences, success can come in, ways that you might not think, right? So, me, myself, like I said in a video that I'm going to be posting very soon here, but there wasn't as much value as they said that there was going to be in the course. Now, that's okay, right? I still learned a lot, and I didn't end up making any money from it, but that's okay. Now, the one thing that I'm so glad I did from this, and the one thing that gave me so much benefit at the end of the day, was I met my now business partner. Now, my now business partner, we've been working together for a couple months now, and he is a killer. Like, I've met very few people who are as dedicated, who are as just have the right mindset to foster success than this guy. Now, I saw the opportunity, and furthermore, I saw the opportunity then, right? But the main thing here was that the AI agency, right, and me going into that, I may not have had the experience that I was promised, right? They sell you the dream in sales. So I may not have had the experience that was promised, but I did benefit from it, and I would not change it for the world. Me and my partner, I'm telling you this right now, you can quote me, this exact video, this exact timestamp, we're going to be millionaires, right? And we're going to understand online money. Now, I don't think anyone truly understands online money, but understand it to the point where we can make money off of it. Now, that only stemmed, me finding this person only stemmed because I was not afraid to take that leap of faith, because I was not afraid to, make that decision. Now, even furthermore, if you can go even more, niche down into this, I ended up texting my business partner too. And my business partner is very unique. Now, I'm not saying unique in a bad way at all. Like, I love unique people, right? They are really what make the world go round, in a sense. But anyways, when he first joined, he was very unique, and I sadly said to myself, and I even told him this, right? Like, I want to be as honest as I can at the end of the day. But I was like, okay, who is this guy? Like, what is this guy doing? Now, I could have just sat back in my chair. I could have just silently judged him. I could have said, and I could have been like, okay, like, who is this guy? Like, just ignore him. Like, what is this guy doing? But what did I do? I ended up texting him. Completely out of my way, I ended up texting him. I think the first thing I ever told him, it was brain rot, right? Like, I find brain rot funny, which is stupid. Well, kind of stupid. I believe nothing that makes me is stupid. But anyways, I texted him brain rot, but then furthermore, it was for sales calls. I had to cut this video. But all in all, right, the main thing behind this is that the opportunity of this, right, of this great thing that happened only became possible because I took that leap of faith. Now, I'm going to generalize this as kind of a thing that you guys can take away, and then we'll leave you guys with that. I won't, feed a dead horse. It was funny. My mom told me it was actually feed a dead horse. I always thought it was beat a dead horse, or whatever. So, do yourself wherever opportunity arises. Like, and when I say whenever opportunity arises, I mean, make it happen, right? Like, opportunity won't just get handed to you on a silver plate. You'll have to do certain things that'll make you uncomfortable, right? Growth only comes when it's uncomfortable. But take every single opportunity you have, and I promise you that, if you shoot in the dark 1,000 times, you're gonna hit a target at least once, right? So your goal, shoot so many times, right? Have so many opportunities that one out of 1,000 that, came out of nowhere. It's totally, off center. Like, you had no idea that that's what it would be. That's going to come to you. But the best way and the easiest way for that to happen is when you actively search for those opportunities, right? So that's what I'm going to hold for you guys. You know, and they say this about sales calls, and I'm going to relate to this, then I'll end it. But sales calls, they say that out of 10 people who hop on calls with you, one of them's a for sure buy. So, like, no matter what you can do, unless you screwed up royally, they're going to buy from you. One of them is a for sure no. So no matter what you do, right, these people aren't going to buy from you. And 8 out of 10 are you persuading them. Now, I'm not talking about just the persuasion part of this. That's another conversation. But think of that, right? Even if you suck at everything, but you get 10 people on those sales calls, right? You do opportunities that you have at least 10 chances. Statistically, just in sales, right? One of those people you're going to get a sale from. And that comes from you just being so relentless with the opportunities you have that you get rewarded for it. So that's what I'm going to leave you guys for today. You know, it's pretty straightforward, but really, you know, you have to think about this deeply. For everyone, it's going to be different. But regret is a potent drug. For me, myself, only thing I've regretted and the only regrets I've had was, honestly, the last regret I had was in high school. And that was because I didn't speak up, right? I didn't do the thing that made me uncomfortable that would have yielded such positive results. But you guys get the point. Look deep within yourselves and, you know, think like, what am I doing? What am I regretting not doing? What am I letting fear stop me that's going to cause regret later on? So it's for you guys. I'm going to end that here. If you guys stayed until the end, thank you for watching this video. As if you guys don't know me, building a positive personal brand, posting every single day, concept ideas, things happen to me that, you know, increase my success. I want to share with you guys. So with that, if you guys want to follow my journey, subscribe, follow whatever you're watching or listening to this on. Above all, hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching and stay wise.